They're not making money, and that's why they're not
Yeah.
getting a push.
Yeah. I saw your episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which was great. I was a little bit, normally those episodes end with tragic, where someone dies, overdoses, goes to jail. But you had a great story how it ended, very emotional and everything. Were you hesitant to do that?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I did interview Chris Van Vliet in Philly, that WrestleMania at the WrestleCon I was just talking about. And he said that. He's like, I'd love to see you on Dark Side. I'm like, absolutely not. I mean, it always ends poorly for the subject of Dark Side of the Ring. So they called me, and they started pitching me the idea. And it took a couple phone calls. And they're great people. It was such a pleasure working with everybody in that organization. And I still talk to some of them today. Like, it was just such a pleasure. Yeah, and they really took care of me, and they really did a nice job of tying everything together. They brought people in that I had no idea had a side to my story. So it was really nice to see them tie it together with what was happening in the world. But, when they first came to me, at one point, I actually hung up the phone, not hung up, not like a dick, but I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. We're done. And Tara Hughes, who's one of the producers there, she texted me and she called me, and she was super nice, super kind. And she ended up convinced me that they don't want to make another tragedy, that they've made plenty of tragedies. They're like, we want to make a story about someone who actually had success after wrestling, because you don't see that really ever. So there's plenty of guys, but the trajectory of my career and then the ultimate fall, that's a lot of trauma for somebody to really overcome. And a lot of people get stuck in wanting to continue to be, I'm going to make it back to the WWE. I'm going to do it. And so she convinced me that this wasn't going to be a hit. The hit story. This was going to be a very genuine story about you, your career, and what you did after the career. And that was what convinced me. Is I didn't want to just talk about wrestling. I really wanted to show that, in spite of what happened,